Hello friends, I have come again with my new topic. Welcome to my channel. So let's discuss today's question. Give an account of the market regulation policies of Alauddin Khilji. What impact did it have on the economy of the Sultanate? So we have to discuss the market regulations policies which were adopted by Alauddin Khilji, the secondary Sani, the second Alexander, and how it impacted the economy of his time. The market control policies introduced by Alauddin in medieval India was a great step and a unique one which attracted the attentions of not only Indian but also foreign historians. So the kind of policies which are taken by Alauddin Khilji, it not only attracted the Indian historians but also the foreigner as well. Alauddin had to maintain his resources for his huge standing army. It was a very tough situation for Secondary Sani because of frequent war took place along with Mongol invasions. He was left with only two alternatives. As you know, at the time when Alauddin became the Sultan of Delhi, even in his Sasur's time, the Mongols used to invade and many parts of the country a frequent revolt took place. So the Alauddin also was surrounded with many problems, many wars. Therefore, if he had to keep up a huge standing army, he had only two options: either to pay high salaries to the soldiers or to pay low salaries and reduce the market price. That means, so if he had to keep a large standing army, either he has to pay a high salary to the soldiers or he must reduce the price of the essential commodities in the market. So the first option was impossible because of a high chance to become a bankrupt. You know, if he gives a large number of salaries, if he gives maximum salaries to his soldiers, definitely he would be bankrupt. That means insolvent. There will be no money in his treasury. But he had to satisfy his army in order to fulfill his dream of imperial expansions, and without a strong and loyal army he couldn't do that. Therefore Alauddin opted for the second options. But Alauddin was a very ambitious ruler and he believed in the territorial expansions. Therefore, in order to keep a huge standing army, he opted for the second option. So that means he reduced the prices of the essential commodities for the people, for the army, for the society. So the principle of market reform. Alauddin divided the markets into three categories: control the policies and set up administrations for proper regulations as regard to the currency and weight. Alauddin set a common weight system which was followed by every shopkeepers. So this is the principle of market reform. He divided the markets into three categories, three types. He controlled the prices as well as along with it, he set up administration for proper regulations. Okay, that whether his rules is being followed by the nobles, by the merchants, by the traders or not, he set up administrations. He appointed officers. Definitely. So let's discuss the division of markets. Mandi, the central grain market with subsidiary control, shops in every mahallas of the city. Mandi, this is a grain market with subsidiary control shops. That means the shops were given subsidiary from the government, from Alauddin. Sari Adal, an exclusive market for clothes and luxury items. So it was a market of clothes and luxury items. And number 3, market of slaves, horses and cattle. A separate market was formed for this purpose. Slaves, horses and cattle were traded in this market. Now let's discuss the control of the markets. Who controlled the markets? Mandi. Malik Kabul Ulu Khani was made the controller of the Mandi, popularly known as Shohanai Mandi. So Swanai Mandi was appointed, okay, for the controller of the Mandi. Apart from him, Alauddin also appointed Barid, that means spy, and Munihas are local news agents. They informed Alauddin each and every moment of the markets. Just imagine the kind of senses Alauddin had at the time. He was informed each and every moment of the market by his loyal officers like Barid, like Munihas, and that's how he kept being, informed. Sarai Adal, cloth market. All merchants should be registered with the Diwani Riyasat for regulation of trade. So a separate department called Diwani Riyasat who registered the merchant's name and also regulation of the trade. Next, the sale was controlled by permit officers known as Parwana Rai. He used to issue permit to people to buy cloth. So basically, permit was given by Parwana Rai as a permit officer basically. Okay, and that's how the sale was controlled. Impacts of the market policy of Alauddin Khilji. Let's discuss the most crucial, moment, because I have discussed the policies which he took for the betterment of the society. Now we have also to consider the fact that what was the policy's impact towards the society, on the people, on the commoners, on the merchants, on the traders, on the artisans, on the manufacturer, on the craftsmen, as well as the people of the capital, whether they were benefited or not. So impacts of the market policy of Alauddin Khilji. It had different impact on various groups, but of all the leaders, the government was the most beneficiary. So you can see the government was benefited because it achieved its goal of maintaining a large standing army with low salary. As the salary was reduced and the prices of the essential commodities were reduced, so that's why the government was able to maintain a huge standing army. So in this point and in this respect, the government got benefited. And the army also stood victorious at home or in foreign. The people of Delhi got advantages. And this army achieved a lot, even at the home or the foreigns. So they won many battles. And most importantly, the people of Delhi got advantages because these policies was prevalent in Delhi and around places of Delhi. Impact on merchants and traders. According to K.C. Lal, on the one hand, the merchants were forced to follow the Sultan's policy. On the other hand, the fear of a slight deviations in weight resulted in giving more than the actual weight. However, the class of merchants or traders suffered a huge frustrations, but they always, found an essential power of economic development of state. So how it impacted the merchants and traders? In fear of Alauddin's wrath, Alauddin's, angerness, sometimes the merchants and traders had to give more commodity than it was demanded. Okay, so that's why they suffered a setback in their business, in the profit. But overall, they somewhere helped, in the economic development of the state. On artisans and manufacturers and craftsmen, they suffered an economic setback due to reduction in price, passing the maximum financial burden to the manufacturer and artisans, because the prices were very much regulated, and even they wanted to increase it, they were punished by Alauddin himself. So that's why they had to make it lower. So yeah, the passing the maximum financial burden definitely to the manufacturer and artisans, because they had no right to increase the prices of the commodities. It was the Sultan who could control, who could increase the prices, not the farmers or the merchants or the traders or the common people. The farmers and common people, the farmers All the cultivators suffer the most, who form the backbone of agricultural economy. However, the revenue regulations of the sultan meant to crush the rich middlemen, not the poor farmers, according to Moreland. As per Moreland's theory, Moreland historians, he said that the farmers, being the cultivator and who are the backbone of the agricultural economy, suffered also. But in reality, the revenue regulations of the sultan meant to crush the rich middlemen, with the objective of which sultan made the regulation policy just to crush the rich middlemen. Okay, not to punish the poor farmers. But in reality it happened. What to do now? However, as most of them resided out of Delhi and the price control theory was prevalent only in Delhi and areas around it, in case of emergency, the farmer had to pay more to purchase the grain that they had sold at lesser price to merchants. Many times when the farmers needed the essential commodities like wheat, like rice, they had to pay more prices to buy it before they had sold it to the local merchants. And this is also true that it was impossible for them to immediately visit to Delhi, where the policies was very much imposed and prevalent and the prices were regulated. So it was not possible for them to regularly visit there and purchase the essential commodities for living. It was not possible. So that's why the farmers were the sufferers. So let's conclude the point. Conclusion. However, some critics argue that Alauddin's market policy were too rigid and controlling, potentially stifling innovations and economic growth. Nevertheless, his reforms and policies had a significant impact on the economy, promoting stability, trade, and agricultural growth. These are the conclusions. Though Alauddin's policy was quite rigid and controlling in nature, but somehow this policy helped in the economy of the sultanate. It promoted the economy, it promoted trade and agricultural surplus, agricultural growth was there. So thank you so much. I'll bring more content on history general studies as well as history optionals. So yeah, again, thank you so much.